Welcome to Libations and Conversations, everyone. Today I have Martin with me. Martin, do you want to tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Martin Lee. I'm a Sydney-based Korean-Australian songwriter, producer, dancer, and lighting designer.
Such an impressive resume.
I feel like I do best with more directed questions, whatever you want to...
Sure, alright, let's get into the episode. So, what is your first memory of music that impacted you, and in what capacity was that?
I think there's a couple. The main one that comes to mind is just we had a CD player in our living room when I was growing up. This was when I was 3-4 years old probably. I would just put on CDs and dance to them in the living room. This was a lot of Destiny's Child, jazz, classical, but anything and everything. I just loved putting it on and just dancing to it in the living room. And then another one that comes to mind is we would go on road trips or anything like that, just with our relatives. We would put on early 2000s Korean pop music and I would sing along to those. Not very well, but I have a distinct memory of that.
Car music is just different. When you're on a road trip, especially with family, it just hits different and you just have that memory in your head forever.
And I think we sold our car, so I don't have easy access to the car sound system anymore, but like music just, as you said, it just hits different in a car. There's nothing like hearing it, being surrounded with it in the car.
Well, as it is Libations and Conversations, I did get us some kombucha as requested, so I don't know if you want to shake it up a little bit. Make sure it's not sitting at the bottom. And just take a sip whenever you like.
So much.
It did just bubble over. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave the lid off. I need to stop saying that. This is what annoys me. When did you first start making music? As you introduced yourself, you did list off your talents that you have. When was the first time you decided that's what you wanted to do?
I guess I'll give a bit more context. So growing up at the age of about 4, I started learning the violin and played that, practiced that, played in string or symphony orchestras at my school all the way until the end of year 12. And while I really enjoyed that, I think it wasn't something I was ever super passionate about. I did really value getting to do that. It was just a fun thing that my friends and I all did together, and getting that experience with performing on a stage and all that, but I think it never really spoke to me that, oh, this is something I want to do for a career or anything like that. So I think I prematurely almost eliminated that as a career option. So then essentially I went over to America for my bachelor's and then didn't touch the violin or do anything music related, but still loved music, listening to music, going to concerts and gigs as often as I could. But yeah, it was more of, I treated it more as a hobby or just a pastime rather than an activity or a career or anything like that. But then over in America, my uni had a real focus on dance, and through that I co-founded my own dance company there, a K-pop dance company called KOKO POPS, and joined another dance company, a hip-hop one called BAC, Black Arts Company, and then that was amazing. I discovered my passion for dance, and then again performing on stage, and then I think, long story short, I struggled pretty hard academically. I think I just didn't know why I wanted to be there doing that degree. Didn't have a strong why, and then also had what I now know was undiagnosed ADHD, which added to the difficulty of it all. But then took a bunch of gap years, sorted all my shit out, and then eventually I finished the degree. I went to finish the degree last year, which honestly the thing I'm most proud of so far in my life, because that was not the expected outcome ever. But in that weird sorting out, getting my life back together time in those gap years I took. In that time, my family had moved up to Sydney. I'm originally from Melbourne, but yeah, so I was here in Sydney, and then this was 2023. This was the first South by Southwest Sydney. I saw it pop up, and I was like, oh, that seems cool. I applied to volunteer, and then when you volunteer, you also get a badge to attend,
passes.
and then that was my first exposure to the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And then being in that space, an aha moment of, wow, this is my place, this is my people,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I want to do, kind of thing. And I just felt so inspired, and it's been amazing ever since. But like, that was the realization, and then after that I kept on going to as many industry events, gigs, concerts as I could, and then that's when I started doing songwriting, learning production, all the rest of it. And that was, how can I have a love-hate relationship with South by Southwest Sydney? I'm obviously sad that but I'm so thankful that it came at that point in my life, because I really needed that, because I was really not sure what I wanted to do. Do I go back? Do I drop out? I was really struggling with what I wanted to do.
Direction. Yeah.
100%. So I couldn't be more grateful for that opportunity coming up at that point in my life. And thanks to that, I now am 100% certain that the music is what I love and what I want to do.
I feel like we weirdly both started our journeys in creativity within music at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we first met, and then we just became instant friends from working in a bar, and then South by Southwest we went to Georgia Smith, and it's been such a fun experience for me to see you grow and see your passion develop. So I'm very thankful that we got to be in each other's lives.
I'm so thankful as well. I really enjoyed the time, the experiences we've had together, and again, not to get too deep into woo-woo like spirituality, but I really do
love
think
woo-woo.
I love it. I'm unashamedly for it, but I really think I'm again so grateful to have met you, and that I really think the universe sent you to me at that point in my life. So
I love that so much. Well, as someone who dances as well as making music, what are the differences on how you consume between the two?
That's a great question. First and foremost, I think it's like when I listen to music, there's just, I guess, certain types of music that are more quote unquote danceable, and just naturally I will like, if there's like kind of upbeat, really.
Give me an example.
What's one that I really like right now? I don't know, this is maybe a bit basic, but like Dua Lipa.
I love her.
Yeah, I love Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa. Shout out Dua Lipa.
Yeah, but even more relevant, and this is literally my favorite artist of all time, Zara Larsson. Just like her most recent album, for example. When I hear that, it's just like I can't help but start moving. Even if there isn't an official choreography to that particular song, it's like just naturally I'll start having ideas. Oh, if I was choreographing this, if I was making a music video or like a performance video, how would I do that? So I think it's just on a most basic level, it is a pretty organic thing of, oh, this song would really be elevated if it had a choreography or a dance to it. And I think
next time she drops a song, you just have to create the TikTok dance for it, and then we'll just hype that up.
Yeah, and I think my two personality traits are K-pop and Eurovision, 50%. That is literally my type personality. Obviously, K-pop in particular, it has a huge focus on choreography, and it's a really inextricable part of the music listening experience with the amazing, incredible, ornate, extremely high budget music videos, and just the focus on the visual overall, which kind of ties into my love for lighting and elevating a performance through lighting. But I think, again, on a broad level, when I listen to certain songs, I can see in my mind, oh, this is what the choreography would look like, this is what the music video would look like, this is what the lighting would look like if it were performed live. But I think that's the first kind of way I would describe how dance interplays with my music consumption. But even for a more, what's the opposite of down tempo?
I guess down tempo or more like melancholy.
Just like more melancholy, soft, slower songs as
like
well.
ballads. Well,
I guess I love those kinds of songs as well.
I love sad music so much.
And maybe it doesn't lend itself as naturally to dance, so I'm not necessarily thinking about the dance per se, but again, I am thinking about how, like, if this were my song, I'd be really sad in the music video, and then I would have a be shooting it like this with the camera and all that kind of stuff. So I am still thinking about it visually, at least. And then I think from a music creation standpoint as well, I write a lot of K-pop, Asian pop with other singer-songwriters and producers. We just finished a track right now that is basically ready to be pitched to K-pop, Asian pop labels, so we're really excited about that
so
one.
Exciting!
But I think with that, given my love for and knowledge of K-pop in particular, I am definitely thinking about, well, this part of the song would really lend itself well to choreography, because choreography is so important for K-pop. And there's these things called killing parts in K-pop.
What does that mean?
So Korean has a lot of, they borrow terms from English, but they don't mean what they mean in English. So you have to explain it. It's
dissect it.
Killing part, it's essentially the most memorable or the most catchy or the most hooky part of a song or a performance. And it's like part that kills you, basically. The way I would explain writing. But like killing part in particular, it will often be like a really catchy melody or rap or spoken section with a really, I would say, accessible or visually memorable dance move as well. It's ideally something that a non-dancer, just like an ordinary person who's never danced before, could follow along and film like a TikTok.
So like me.
But I think that is something, it's not like I have to change the melody in order to suit that kind of thing, but it is a consideration that I am keeping in mind writing the song, to make sure that the melody and also the production and the way it sounds is danceable. So I think it really, I don't know, adds a additional perspective to music, and it's one of those things like dance, I guess, I don't know, maybe contemporary dancers might disagree with me, but I guess
everyone's allowed an opinion.
Fundamentally, I think dance can't exist without music, right? So it exists in relation to music, and it's something I haven't really thought too deeply about, but it is one of those things, since it's so dependent on music in a way, the idea that dance would then influence one's music consumption or one's music creation is a kind of interesting idea. But I don't know where I'm going with that.
No, I like that. I think it's so interesting because the way you've just explained that is so fascinating to me, and I wouldn't have ever thought like that myself. And now when I listen to K-pop, I will understand a bit more about it. So I really appreciate that.
I love that.
Now, if you are going to recommend 3 songs to someone, top 3 songs right now, what are they?
Right now, well, when I first read this question, I thought it was ever all time.
Oh, you can do all time if you want.
But
give me all, because you thought of it all time. Give me all time, and then give me your top 3 right now.
All time, the first one that comes to mind is Touch It by Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Do you know that song?
I've heard it.
It's just such a well written and produced song. I still listen to it every day, and I find new things to get fascinated and amazed by. They really hate with that. I think for me, like music, it's just like, I think related to my ADHD, I'm a highly sensitive person. So when I'm listening to music, it's like a really intense emotional experience. Sometimes, especially with like sad songs, I will just listen to a song on repeat for 3 hours and just cry.
Same.
But for me, an almost sacred thing, listening to music. It's not just, and I don't want to sound like I'm being prescriptive, like everyone has to listen to music in the same way that I do, but for a lot of people, it's just background music that they put on while they're exercising in the gym, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But I'm just trying to, I guess, explain that for me, it could be further from that. I'm really,
intentionally.
I'm fully present. I'm putting on my headphones and just really listening to every single detail and just feeling all the emotions naturally come up when I'm listening to that song, and looking into the story and the background of how the songwriters came up with this idea, what they were thinking about, what they were going through, what inspired them, and the producers as well, what techniques they use to achieve certain effects, to evoke certain emotional reactions from the listener. It's a very involved process for me. But long story short, that was a long way of saying Touch It by Ariana Grande really does that
impacted you.
for me.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of them. I think for the other two, I guess the second one, it's, you might not know it, it's a Eurovision entry. It was Serbia's entry in 2007. It won. It's called Molitva by Maria Serefic. It means prayer in Serbian. But it was Serbia's entry. It won. It's just a really beautiful power ballad. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. Again, I think power ballad has a certain meaning. Generally, it's like a rock term, I believe. But then in Eurovision, it has a different meaning. It's not necessarily rock, but it is a ballad which is with a very strong vocal delivery, and it can be pop, it can be, whatever. That's when I say power ballad, what I'm referring to. But it's in Serbian. I do know the lyrics by heart by now, but even when I first heard it, it wasn't. That's something I love about Eurovision, is it just, I guess, taught me to appreciate music in all different languages, even ones that I don't know a word of. But yeah, that one in particular, you just hear it and you're just moved emotionally. It just hits you again.
I feel like that with French music.
Right?
I hear French music and I'm just instantly stops in my tracks. It just hits me different.
You love Voila by Bach, which came second in 2021, I believe. 2021.
In Eurovision? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it just was a really solid entry. But I guess it's obviously sonically very different entry, but Molitva, I think, is kind of in that same vein of Voila as a song. So if that helps you
think about it, after we finish, I'm gonna just go that straight away.
And then third one, this is probably my favorite, if not one of my favorite songs of all time, is Never Forget You by Zara Larsson and MNEK. Do you know that one?
I feel like if I heard it, I would.
You probably do know it. It was a pretty big hit at the time. It came out in 2015, I believe. But
how does it go? Just hearing that, know it a little bit,
I love that song. It's so well written, so well produced. The vocal performances of both of them, they're both such amazing vocalists. And I think for that one in particular, it's the angst of the one that got away, but you'll never forget your first love kind of thing.
I like that.
Very
unrequited love?
Well, not necessarily unrequited, but it means that relationship meant so much to you, but then have to go your separate ways or whatever, but still always have that place.
That love, and
you won't forget them, basically, even if it didn't work out in this life. So that, just the story and the meaning of that song just really speaks to me as well. So, but then just the production in particular on that one, I think I was in year 11 at the time, very much into Scandinavian pop. I was in Right Now. The first one is definitely our entry for Eurovision this year, Eclipse by Delta Goodrum. It's such a good song. I'm very happy that we're taking it seriously and just sending She Needs No Introduction, absolute icon.
She's an icon.
And most importantly, for Eurovision to do well, you need to have a really strong vocal performance. It's not enough to just have a good song or a good staging or a good whatever. It has to live. You have to be able to deliver vocally live, and Delta can obviously do that. So
she has that range.
Very excited. And then another thing is, I'm very much like a Eurovision fan first and an Australian fan second. I'm not someone, you'll just have to take my word on this, but I'm not going to be biased. If the song wasn't good, I wouldn't be raving about it, but it genuinely is in its own right an amazing entry. I feel so emotional when I listen to it. Just I feel like the songwriters, they just have a very spiritual connection and understanding. I'm just so moved by that song. So I'm wishing her luck. But currently she's in the odds, the favourite to win the jury vote. The televote obviously is a separate story, but I think, having listened to all the entries, I think it's going to be down to Finland and Australia, maybe Denmark. I think all three entries are great.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently Finland is the favourite, but Australia will probably win the jury vote, but televote we kind of struggle. But we'll see if they manage to put a really good staging that's visually catchy, appealing, then we might do well enough. If we get fourth, or above in this level, but that should be enough too. But anyway, whatever the result, I think we can be really proud this year, which is amazing. Another song I'm really into right now, I love Tate McRae. The most, I don't know if it was a repackaged album, but like not the most recent one, So Close to What, I think is the name of the album. There's a song called Dear God on that one, which I absolutely adore. Again, the production, just like her vocals, like her as a performer, everything about it is just amazing. And then third one, as I said, Zara Larsson is probably my favorite artist of all time. I love that whole album, but especially the song Girls Girl. It just goes so hard, and I can't wait to see it live. I managed to get tickets.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Thank you. I was really stressed, and I'm not the kind of person to be like gatekeeping. I hate gatekeeping, whether it's music industry or being a fan of an artist or anything. But it would have been kind of crazy if me, as a fan of over 11 years, I grew up with her while she was still in the Kia asylum, while everyone was sleeping on her, and the first time she comes to Australia I don't get a ticket, right? That would be pretty crazy. So we tried 3 times, we finally got lucky, so I'm so excited to
I'm so happy that you get to go see her. That's
so I'm so happy for her, and again, I love that she's getting recognition and that more people are discovering her. Definitely not one to be like, oh, I found her first, or I want her to stay small. Nothing like that at all.
No.
Like, I'm so genuinely happy for her that she's getting her flowers that she deserves.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Now, if there is a creative that you'd want to meet, who would it be and why?
Definitely, it would be M&E-K. He is my favorite artist, songwriter, producer. He just does it all. Obviously, these days he's focusing more on the writing and production side. He, if you know the group Flow, he produces a lot of their work, and it's all amazing. Also, he worked a lot with an artist called Tyler Lewis, British R&B artist. Also just amazing, but everything he touches just turns to gold, and I'm just so in awe of how he uses production to evoke really deep and visceral emotional reactions. You know, there's so many amazing producers out there, but he in particular, I think, just when I listen to his music, it just takes me to a whole different world, different dimension almost.
That's so cool.
But he's someone I really look up to, someone who really inspires me and my own practice. So if I could meet anyone, it would be I would just love to pick his brain about how he made certain songs, especially like Never Forget You, for example, like what that process was.
What the journey was and like how it came about. Oh my god.
That would be.
Now, is there a song that's impacted a moment in your life, and why was it so impactful?
I think there's a couple that I could answer with, but I guess recently would be Breathe In by Ariana Grande. I think that song, it just really, I don't think it's something that I was listening to at the time, but when I was really struggling academically at uni, it was, I think, when I went back last year, for my last semester, I choreographed a piece for one of my classes, which was a very free-flowing, unstructured, very open and creative studio class where it wasn't even dance specifically, it was just about performance, inventing performance. Which for our final project, I did a freestyle dance to that song. I think whenever I listen to it, it does help me process all of the emotions and difficulties I was going through, and it's definitely a song that I wish I wrote almost. It's like, it just really speaks to me, it's really close to home, and has helped me process everything. And overall, just the message of you don't have to have it all figured out, but you just keep trying, keep showing up, and just through that alone, you are making progress, and you will find the way out, and it'll all be okay in the end. So that's
so special. I feel like we have so much pressure from society and our own pressure that we put on ourselves, I think it's hard to remember to celebrate the milestones that we achieve in life, and that's really amazing how like she's helped you do that. And who knows, maybe one day you'll write a song that will have that impact on someone else.
That is the goal. But I'm 100% with you. I think that's something I still struggle with. I'm still working on, is to just remembering to take a step back and just be proud of myself and acknowledge, you know, wow, I did that, I got through that. I should really be proud of myself, because it's very easy to see what your friends and other people are doing and be happy and proud for them, but then when it's yourself, it's like, oh, like that was nothing, that's not good enough, like I could, you know, there's still more I can do. But if you take a step back and put yourself in someone else's shoes, oh wow, that was amazing what I did. And I think especially in Australia, where we have tall poppy syndrome and all the rest of it, it is challenging to remember to do that. But I think we just gotta, even if it's not outwardly in front of other people, just to ourselves, just remembering to be kind and just acknowledging all the hard work that we put in. And
I think we need to stop minimizing our own achievements. And I gave this advice to someone the other day, which was, if you could see yourself through your friend's eyes, what would you, like, if you're saying that to your friend and that's how you feel about them, imagine what they see about you. And I had a very good friend of mine the other day tell me how she views me, and it actually gave me a lot more confidence. So
I had the same experience yesterday. I saw a good friend and they were just telling me how amazed and proud they were of me to be doing all these things and still being here and seeing it all through and coming out the other side in one piece. And it can feel really weird in the moment. It's like, oh, they're just being nice, but it's like they're being genuine and ditto.
And go. Alright, so as a part of this second part of our little interview, I have some bubbles. It's a little Prosecco to commemorate our time whenever we go drinking. It's always our go-to beverage together.
Indeed it is.
We've bonded over a lot of things.
Yeah.
But until we'll have a little sip and cheers in a second. But if you were in a movie, what song would be playing in the scene of that?
I have an answer to that. It is For You by Liam Payne and Rita Ora. Do you know that song?
Yes, I do.
But like, that song, just to me, obviously it was part of the 50 Shades 3 movie, I believe. But like, just in general, that song just screams movie, cinematic. It's
main character.
Yes, and it's like that whirlwind romance, and it's just like, it's giving. I think if I was a movie, that would be.
I love that. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for coming on today, by the way.
Thank you for having me. Who would have thought, from Staffies after work at the bar to this upgraded version.
Look, I don't know how upgraded it is. Look, I'm definitely on a budget, but hey, we're getting there. Now, where has your creativity taken you, and where do you see yourself going with it?
I think, again, as I was saying, growing up, I was playing violin, wasn't ever super passionate about it, but I'm really thankful that I got that training, that ear for pitch and sound and all of that. But then getting into discovering my passion for that and performing on stage, which just led to being interested in lighting design and getting to be creative in that kind of way as well. And then South by Southwest Sydney 2023, getting into songwriting and production. It's just been this constant journey and discovery of, oh, this is a new way to be creative, this is a new way a new medium to express my creativity almost. And I'm definitely at a point where I'm constantly trying to level up, constantly trying to build new skills, make new connections, and not being limited by a label or a particular vision or image of what my creativity has to look like, but just being open to anything and everything and just following what my intuition is telling me, because that's how I've lived my life so far and it's never led me astray. So forget the original question.
No, I was about to say, one of my favorite quotes is, Cillian Murphy was being interviewed and he said instinct over intellect, because you'll never be wrong with how you feel, but it doesn't matter how smart you are, you can still make your own decision.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree with that 100%. I think our society in general as a whole, I could really get into it, but just in general, we value science and all of that, which is not a bad thing necessarily, but I think we really have lost spirituality and intuition and maybe things that we can't observe or scientific experiment on, but it doesn't make them less true or less real. And I think another element of that is with astrology and horoscopes, which I have discovered basically real. And then asterisks, it's not like they predict the future per se, but it has validity. I know in the deepest part of my being that it's not just a coincidence. It's obviously there's confirmation bias and all that, but like the things I've realized through getting more into that is, oh no, this is real. It's not just a bunch of silly women being crazy or whatever, which is the thing I wanted to say was like, oh, society really demonizes and vilifies women for being into astrology when they're not wrong. Actually, there's a lot of truth and a lot of understanding to be gained from that, but we kind of just shut it down. Oh, that's like woo.
That's witchy.
And we could get into that, but I'm really glad that
Sorry, we're just out here manifesting our lives.
Exactly.
Shackle me now.
But that was a long way of saying I really do believe our minds can play tricks on us, and thoughts can often be the things that are holding us back, right? So even though something's logically the right thing to do, it might not be the actually right thing to do. So
do you know what? I think it's like, fuck the how, just do it. Doesn't matter how you get to that place, just get there. And we can self-sabotage and do all these things, but if you want to, don't hold yourself back. And I don't see you doing that anytime soon, so you're good. I'm going to be here cheering you on the sidelines.
Well, it's taken a lot to get to this point, but I'm just really grateful for all the challenges, all the hardships I've been through, because now I really know in every fiber of my being why I'm here, what I need to do, what my purpose is, and I'm so grateful for that, truly.
That's so special. Wow. So what, when it comes to music, what's like guilty pleasure?
Oh, good question.
Going from deep to like a little bit of fun, a little bit of...
This is super niche. I don't know if anyone will know what I'm referring to, but...
There's going to be one person out there who's like, yes, right there.
The one that comes to mind is Belarus's 2011 Eurovision entry. It was called I Love Belarus by Anastasia Vinnikova. And for those who don't know, Belarus is a dictatorship. It's a very repressive, authoritarian regime. They don't have freedom or a lot of rights that, well, again, maybe we don't have a lot of those these days in our countries anymore. But that aside, the song is basically like state propaganda song, but it goes so hard. It's such a good song. It's so catchy.
Add in the playlist.
And the instrument, I think they use traditional Belarusian instrument as well.
Wow.
I don't know what it's called. But it's like, I forget whether it was like strings or more like a xylophone, but like there is a person playing it with two mallets, what they look like. But yeah, that instrument is just so beautiful, and I think it's one of those things. I think it can be easy living in a more open or democratic country to be like, oh well, that's just propaganda. But like, if you think about it, if you were an artist living in Belarus or a similar kind of regime, like that wouldn't, you would still want to be an artist, right? You would still want to make music. Still, even if you're limited in what you can make that music about, I don't think you would just stop being creative or something like that. Obviously, it's easy to judge it from the outside. I'm just saying that it's a little more complicated. And I think Zari, who is one of the songwriters of that song, I think he did a really good job on that one in particular.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not supportive of Lukashenko or dictatorship by any means, but that song is just so good.
I guess that's why like musicians or artists, I should say, have such power. Once you get to a certain level, you use your voice or you use your talent to make impact. And we've seen it through time with musicians or writers or poets, and they make a mark in history, and then people talk about it ever since. But I'm gonna listen to that song because I really want to hear it now.
And then one other one is just generally, it's called Schlager. I think it started in Germany, but it's think of ABBA music, but like in Sweden it's like well, these days maybe not as popular, but there's a distinct type of pop music that is very popular in Sweden, also in Germany, these kinds of countries. But I love that specific type of music, and it might be like corny, old-fashioned or whatever, but I just love it. I think it's like the most perfect form of pop music almost. Just like the hooks, the melodies, there's always a key change at the end. It's just like so, nothing makes me more happy than listening to that. There's one song in particular, it was Sweden's entry in 2006 by Carola called Evighet, which means eternity, I think, in Swedish. But it got translated for Eurovision into Invincible. But I think the original Swedish version is much better. But they're both great, but that, I would say, is a textbook example of Schlager. So, yes, highly recommend that as well.
Now, I guess the question I'm going to ask next kind of ties into a song that impacted you. What has a song, besides Ariana Grande's, that has helped you through a moment in your life?
Creatively? Oh, I think it might be a slight cop-out, but I think it really depends on what season of my life I'm in, almost. I think there'll just be a certain song that really speaks to me in that moment of my life, and then I will just like have that on repeat. And it just keeps inspiring me endlessly. I think right now, what's a song that's really doing that for me creatively right now? I would say, there's this artist I really love called Ella Collier. She's a independent American pop artist. I just discovered her through Spotify, but like her music is literally, I was like, well, divine kind of thing almost. Her music is just so aligned with my sonic tastes and just like the lyrical content, subject matter and everything. I was like, wow, like a lot of her songs I'm like, wow, I really wish I wrote those songs. Like that's how true they feel to me almost. Like they just really hit me in a really deep place. But one song by her I really like right now is I Don't Do Drugs. I highly recommend that one, but I think her music in general does such a good... My favorite type of music is music that's upbeat and happy sounding, but is like quite sad. And
it has meaning behind it.
That is just, in general, any music that does that, I will be head over heels
on board.
So I love that song. It's one that's really inspiring me right now.
Now, I know you've gone back to studying this year. What has led you to, if you want to explain what you're studying, what has led you to go back and do that, and where do you see that taking you in the future? Yeah,
so I just started studying law this semester at UTS, doing the Juris Doctor Master of Intellectual Property. It's a 3.5-year course technically, but if I do summer subjects I can finish it in 3 years hopefully. But it's crazy in a way because I think after my experience with my bachelor's, I thought I never want to set foot in a university or in academia again. But here we are now. I think, to put it briefly, I always had an interest in law growing up. My favorite movie is Legally Blonde.
That TV series just came out as well, didn't it?
Probably I need to look into that. But I think that was always my default option growing up. Like when people asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, obviously I was way too young to know what I wanted. But I think after struggling academically in my bachelor's, I gave up on that. I was like, well, it's not going to work out, right? But then after getting diagnosed with ADHD, finding my passion for music and going back last year and finishing the degree against all odds, right? It allowed me to regain my confidence. Oh, actually, I can do this. It is really hard, and just finishing that degree took so much out of me, but you know, I did it, right? And that taught me, like, actually, if I prepared to put in the hard work, I can do anything, right? And including getting a law degree. And I really want to be an advocate for musicians, artists, creatives in the Australian scene. I think the main thing I see is just a lack of knowledge and awareness surrounding the law and how to protect one's work and how to avoid getting taken advantage of. And I really want to help bridge that gap. And another thing I've gotten involved with is a youth tech policy lab called Protocol. I co-proposed a copyright and AI working group within that, the policy research program, and through that doing research about copyright and AI, basically with the kind of end goal of providing more information and clarity about how licensing is working right now in terms of licensing deals between copyright owners and AI companies, because currently, until now, it's just been kind of free for all with AI companies just stealing creatives' work without paying them or asking them if they are okay with their work being used. So I'm currently exploring policy as a potential way to correct that injustice, essentially. So again, with that broader theme of always wanting to upskill, learn new things, to essentially find more tools to equip myself with. And then hopefully once that's all done, I'll be able to be a force for good in our industry.
Definitely.
That is the goal.
Oh my gosh, well, I can't wait to see what you do with that. And I think whatever you put your mind to, you'll succeed at tenfold. So coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing. Oh, thanks. God, we're so in sync. Alrighty, and that's a wrap. Alright.